Welcome back. All right, first of two games tonight in the National Hockey League. It is Carolina, it is Washington. Goals are going to be at a premium in this series throughout. Through the first two games, we've had a grand total of 7 goals, and one of those 7 being an empty netter. So this is absolutely going to be a defensive battle. I think these teams are very well matched with each other. We saw that again tonight. It was Anderson at one end, Thompson at the other. Both goalies finished the game, so victory right there. Radish was in the lineup for Washington. Leonard taken out. Totally understandable, Leonard being taken out. Young player, all that kind of stuff. Hall has a rush chance. That's held. The Canes press are kept to the outside. There's booing for an icing call on the Caps, which to me tells you it's playoff hockey. During the regular season, you might hear a smattering of boos, but during the playoffs, everybody's mad about everything. So I do enjoy that. The intensity's not just on the ice, it's in the crowd too. Way to buy in. A net feed to Stahl, near miss there. The shot attempts 3 minutes into this game were 7-0 in favor of Carolina. The Canes picked up where they left off in the last game, but Washington would play better at enough points in this game to make a difference. Caps press at 3.5 minutes. The teams trade turnovers. The shots on net are 2-1 for Carolina at 4.5 minutes. Chatfield fires one wide as the Canes press. Good flow, not a lot of whistles in that first period. Sandin has a screenshot that's held. Carolina draws a power play. There's an early clear, a late cycle. Burns fires one wide after that. The power play is killed off. One shot on net for Carolina on that power play. Shots are 5-2 in favor of Carolina halfway through the period. Canes press with 7 minutes left. Good forechecking by Carolina too. So that first period looked very similar to the first period in the first game. At least up until that point. Things get pushy on a hold by Anderson. The Caps press with 5 minutes left. They start to build a little momentum here. Dowd can't bury one in close. Roslovic's then denied from the doorstep at the other end. Stahl has a slot chance. That's blocked. The Capitals rush. With 37 seconds left, Washington goes to the power play. There's an early clear. The fans call a penalty that would have made it 5-on-3. The problem is the referee does not agree. So we're 0-0 after the first period of play. Second period. The Caps struggle to set up early because they're still on the power play. Carlson fires one high from the slot. Puck's cleared out. The Canes finish the kill. No shots on net for Washington during that power play. However, at 2:16, I believe it was a puck that hits Gostisbehere. McMichael ends up grabbing it, and he goes in on a fast break, and he scores. So at 2:16 of the second period, McMichael unassisted. And so, yeah, it's a, opportunity for Washington, and they cash in there to get the lead. It actually caught Gostisbehere in the throat. I did write that down on the board. If I read my own notes, I notice these small things. Martinook has a net feed that's held. Shots are only 1 apiece, 5 minutes in, so not a lot getting to the net either way. Teams trade rushes. Carrier to Robinson. There's a near miss at the Caps net. Canes press are kept to the outside. Radish has a rush chance that deflects out. Stahl to Jarvis. That play ends up being picked off. Beauvillier can't bury one in close. Chatfield has a wrister that's held as the Canes press. A net feed to Carrier gets blocked. The Caps press with 9 minutes left. We then get a power play for Carolina, so the referee is informed that in terms of whether or not he sucks, he's more towards the yes than the no. Which, I mean, fans are going to chant. It's just the way that's going to work. Aho fires one wide, puck's cleared out. The power play was killed off, no shots on net. So power plays tonight, they weren't effective in the first 2 periods of play, and we're still looking at a 1-0 lead for Washington. Things get punchy as the Caps then get a power play. There's an early clear. Ovechkin has a shot that's held. Wilson's denied. The Canes clear. McMichael then has a shot that deflects out. That power play's killed off. It did have opportunities. You can see Washington breaking through a little bit with that Carolina defense tonight, and so it stays 1-0. Caps press with 1.5 minutes left. Things get pushed in a hole by Anderson, and the Canes press to close things out. So it's 1-0 Washington after 2 periods of play. But we saw this in the last game. How would they handle the third? Well, teams trade early rushes. Things get pushy on a hold by Anderson. The Caps draw a power play, and they score on it. At 1:54, it's a cross-ice pass and in for Carlson. The assist to Wilson and Strome. So, first goal of the playoffs for John Carlson. Couldn't come at a better time. Makes it 2-0. This is also the first power play goal against Carolina in these playoffs. So, perfect power play. Now takes a bit of damage in this game. And so now we're looking at a 2-0 game. Gostisbehere is a shot that's caught and held. The Canes press at 3 minutes. The shots are 2 apiece, 4 minutes into the period. There's a post for Kotkaniemi on a tipped point shot. Martinook then has a wraparound near miss there. Walker has a shot that's saved as the Canes press. And it was a pretty good third period, I thought, for Logan Thompson here. The Caps get pinned, but they block the path to the net pretty well. The Caps then get some pressure at 7.5 minutes. There's a delay of game call that gives Carolina the power play. Jarvis has a one-timer that's saved. They cycle, and they score. Gostisbehere fires a rebound in from the right circle at 9:26. Jarvis and Aho with the assist. So both power plays successful in the first half of the third period, and now Carolina has shrunk that lead for Washington down to 2-1. Duhaime has a slot shot that's held. The Canes press with 7.5 minutes left. The shots are 11-6 for Carolina with 6.5 minutes left. So what's interesting is Carolina dominated large stretches of the first period, dominated a lot in the third period as well. The second period, the best period, I think, in this series for Washington so far. It is a bit of a small sample size, but I thought in the third period, the Canes got this momentum back. It's going to be interesting to see in the third game where Carolina gets that last change, how these games are going to look. So the Canes press. Walker has a tip shot that's held. Van Riemsdyk breaks up a 3-on-1 for Carolina. So Carolina did have some opportunities. The goalie pull happens with 1 minute and 55 seconds left. Things get scrummy with 1:18 left. The Canes call a timeout, and it's one of those situations where during the regular season they might have called matching penalties to make it 4-on-4, but they don't. So Wilson hits the empty net at 19 minutes from Alexi Protas. That makes it 3-1. So whatever Carolina talked about in their timeout didn't work out for them. They pull the goalie again with 25 seconds left. I admire the moxie, but I do wonder about the point. You're not scoring 2 goals in 25 seconds. It's just not going to happen. At any rate, things get kind of pushy at the horn. It could have blown up in that all the Carolina Hurricanes players came down the ice to have a little chat with the Washington players too, or at least a lot of them did. But cooler heads prevailed. This series is now tied at 1. So Washington wins this game 3-1. Carolina played well through large stretches, and I think Carolina's perfectly fine with this being a split series. Sure, you would rather be up 2-0, but you get the split in Washington. Now it's about maintaining home ice advantage for them in games 3 and 4. The shots on net in this one, 7-5 Carolina in the first, 9-4 Washington in the second, 16-7 Carolina in the third. The final shots are 27-21 for Carolina. The power plays, both teams go 1 for 3 on the power play, which is weird because the penalty kills were pretty good tonight. Just the one power play for each team got it done. The hits 17-16 in favor of Carolina. So not a very hit-filled game. People were like, see, Canes hit. Not in this game. This game, the hitting drops way down. Carolina played a little different, but so did Washington. I think Carolina had to adjust because Washington was playing a little bit stronger of a game overall than they did in game 1. Freddie Anderson saves 18 out of 20. He was good. Thompson, another very good game for Logan Thompson. 26 saves on 27 shots, and he's really started to look like the Logan Thompson from before Four Nations, which is bad news for everybody else. And now this series tied at 1 game apiece. So let me know your thoughts in the comment section below. If you're a Canes fan, are you perfectly confident about games 3 and 4? Are you concerned about how this game went? Let me know your thoughts. Hit like and subscribe in the event you may not have done so already. Thank you guys so much for all your support. It's greatly appreciated. I'm very much enjoying the Edmonton-Vegas game and looking forward to reviewing that one for you guys as well. But for now, I'm done. Thank you guys so much for all your support. I will talk to you again soon.